Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cooking Ain't Complicated. My name's Chef Saint. I want to thank you for coming back and joining me again today. And I have to admit, I was torn. I could not, for the life of me, decide what I wanted to make today. I was going to make this chicken parm pizza that's been going all over the internet lately. Looks amazing. You got your chicken as the crust, your cheese and your sauce on top. I gotta tell you, that seemed appealing to me. But then the purist in me said, no, you gotta make a traditional chicken parm. So I was torn. And then I realized I could do both. Because I'll tell you what, the sauce is the same, the cheese is the same. The only thing that changes is the platform. So what we're gonna do today is chicken parm two ways. I cheated a little bit. I got the pre-seasoned, pre-ground chicken to make for our crust, but everything else is going to be from scratch. We're going to do a down and dirty Pomodoro style marinara sauce. We got the breadcrumbs, we got some pasta for the traditional. I'm ready to go. I'm hungry. I hope you're hungry. Let's get down to business. Chicken parm two ways. Alright, so the down and dirty sauce. Nothing too complicated. 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. I threw in about 5 diced vine tomatoes. You can use Roma if you want. You can use hothouse if you want, whatever you choose. But I tossed them in there. Been letting it simmer for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And so to that, we're going to add some salt. Some paprika. As always, the quantities will be in my description. Some crushed chili flakes, oregano, cilantro, black pepper, garlic powder, little thyme, because who couldn't use a little more thyme, and some basil. So, we're going to mix that all in there. Now the reason I call it a down and dirty sauce is because, man, if you're going for a pasta sauce from scratch, you need to let that thing just slow simmer all day. But ain't nobody got time for that today. It's not pasta sauce day. It is chicken parm day. So, once we got all that worked in there, we're going to toss in about 2.5, 3 tablespoons of freshly minced garlic. And about half of a red onion, medium to large red onion, just kind of rough chopped. It's only there for flavor. Texture's not key on that. Not for me anyways. Do as you like. Now, we've got all of that incorporated in there. Yeah, see there I said incorporated. I go out of my way to try and not say that, but... Drinking game. Okay. Now that we've got that all mixed in there, I'm going to give it a quick taste. And I'm just going to leave it alone. We're going to taste it. Let me see how it goes. Make sure it doesn't require any more further seasoning. Nope, that's good. It's also really hot. So we're gonna let that go for a little bit. And while we're doing that, we're gonna form the next part. We're gonna make a chicken Parmigiana pizza crust. Now this part, I will tell you I cheated. This part takes a little extra time. It is a very time-intensive procedure. It has to freeze before you can use it. So, I made one last night. It's in the freezer already. Not many people will admit that to you, but I'm better than that. I want you to know where I'm coming from. So we're just gonna get some parchment paper down there. And I've got pre-seasoned, pre-ground chicken, Italian style, obviously. We can take that out of here. Lay that on your parchment paper. Get rid of that. Very sticky stuff, ground chicken. So you just kind of want to shape that into a ball as much as possible. Take, recover it with the parchment. Take a rolling pin, gently flatten that out. You want to make sure it's about even, so there's no real big, large, thick spots, because you're going to want to cook it at the same time. If you have any bigger pieces, then it's not going to cook real well. So, what I used last night, what I'm going to use again today, I use this bowl for cereal. As you can see, I like a lot of cereal. And take that bowl, make some rude noises with it, like you're playing with gack. Just cut around. Not enough to cause much harm to your knife, don't worry, but you want to get through that wax paper. Just like that, you have a giant chicken cookie. Raw chicken cookie. Don't get any ideas. And we're gonna take that, put it in your freezer, and when it comes out, you'll have what looks like a Totino's party pizza, but it's made out of chicken. Frozen solid. I ran mine overnight. You could probably get away with doing it in a couple hours. I haven't timed it out. But the next part, we're gonna peel this wax paper off there. See, it comes off. We're going to bread and fry this up. At the same time, we're also gonna start preparing our Parmesan chicken for real, the actual chicken breast itself, for the traditional style. I don't know why I can't speak today. But anyways, we'll be back in a minute. We'll start preparing some chicken. Now we gotta butterfly the chicken. You got our standard chicken breast right here. It's really thick. In order to do that, all you really want to do is you want to cut into it in the midpoint, but you want to be very careful not to, obviously cut your hand, as I well know from past experience. But you also want to make sure you don't go all the way through. We're not trying to just take it in half. We're trying to, it's called a butterfly. They do it with shrimp all the time. Gives it more surface area, thins it out. Like that. We'll do that for both of our chicken breasts here. And trust me, if you don't trust your skills with a kitchen knife like that, don't worry, you don't have to hold it like this. It's just how I do it now. I've got years of practice though, so you fillet those open like that, and then what we're going to do, cover it with wax paper, and then we're going to use the rolling pin. Same reasoning as with the crust. We want to make sure that it's as flattened out as it can be and as even as it can be across the entire layer. And normally you could use a meat mallet for this too, but I just really didn't want to mush the crap out of my chicken today. Got a lot of aggression. It was a hard week. I don't need to take it out on this poor chicken. So we'll just give it a gentle roll in like that. And if you feel any spots start to rise up like you're driving up a hill, that's where you need to focus. So after that, you're good to go. And see, use wax paper, you keep your wheel clean. There we go. Now we're gonna set that up, and we're gonna set the crust up at the same time. So we got here is our chicken, and then we've got a makeshift breading station. I'm lucky I have plates with lips. It helps. Pour a little of this whipped egg in there. And one more time, we slip on some gloves. And if you notice, the entire time we're doing this, sauce is still bubbling away. Medium, low heat, you want that to kind of just work its magic. So, oven's preheated. Alright, we're going to dip that in the egg. Try to do the two-handed method. One hand for wet, one hand for dry. I'm going to try, I always screw that up. Shake off the excess. Avoid the chicken and the egg jokes like I did last time. And use your dry hand. See, I almost screwed that up already. And what we got here, Italian breadcrumbs and panko. About a 50-50 ratio. You can use all panko if you want. You can use all breadcrumbs if you want. Whatever moves you. Whatever strikes your fancy. You're the one having to eat it. I'm just giving you the basics. Press it down. Make sure it gets in there, sticks in there. There we go. Looks pretty good. Shake off the excess. And go for round two. Now, we'll move on to our crust. Chicken cookie. Now stuck to plate. There we go. Let it go. So clingy. So, same thing with the chicken cookie. Toss that in the egg wash. Try not to get too much egg on this hand. Like that. Drain off the excess. And into the crumbs. These ones you can't help but get both hands involved. You gotta kind of involve everyone, all hands on deck, as it were. You gotta scoop and press at the same time, and it's a bit more surface area, so. Just like that. Rub it in there a little bit more. And there you have it. Breaded chicken cookie. Coming up next, we hit the oil bath. Breaded chicken cookie. Oil is hot. Let's get it on. Carefully. Don't burn yourself. It's not worth it. I got vegetable oil at 350 degrees. Don't leave, don't walk away. Keep an eye on it. Try not to disturb it too much also, because it is needing to set. Once it hits that oil, it's going to start trying to disintegrate. I'm really hoping it doesn't. I haven't really failed live yet. I'd rather not do that now. kind of feel it out, make sure it's not going to disintegrate on you. This is why I have a lot of cooking tools in my kitchen. You may not need them all the time, but when you need them, you need them. Alright, wish me luck. Ah, diggity. That worked great. It smells amazing. I know you can't smell it, but I can. My cameraman's drooling. Suppose that means something. Sauce can. And like a katsu patty, or I don't know if you cook Japanese food, I do. Like a katsu patty, it'll start floating. It'll start becoming more firm. Less likely it's going to tear itself to pieces. Which is always good. Think of it as a giant chicken nugget at this point. Though I do like the term chicken cookie. You just want to make sure you keep an eye on it. You don't want to let it burn. It'd be tragic after all of this, wouldn't it? There we go. And with it as thin as it is, you're mostly worried about the browning on it. You're not going to necessarily be as concerned about the chicken cooking, because as thin as it is, the chicken cooks relatively quickly. I'm going to kick up the temp a little bit here. Finish her off. Alright. We're going to bring the chicken cookie out of the oil. We're going to let it drain. But while we let it drain, on that one side at very least, while it's nice and hot, I'm going to hit it with some Parmesan cheese. Just to let that melt on there a little bit. Plus, I think it looks great. Okay. Now, we'll do the same thing for our chicken cutlet. Again, at the end, we'll hit it with some Parmesan, let that melt on there. Alright, coming up next, we're going to assemble the pizza. Stick around. Alright, so the next part we're going to do in really rapid succession. Both are ready to go, but we need to hit this in the broiler first to turn it truly into a pizza. We're going to give it a healthy dose of our fresh sauce. About 2 hours it's been bubbling away now, all told. Be pretty generous with that. Look at the hunks of garlic in there. Delicious. Okay. We're going to hit it with some mozzarella cheese. Now, if you got a bigger fryer, you can make a bigger unit than this. I just have the cast iron, so I made it small to accommodate that. Certainly, you can go full-size pizza if you can do it. But then on top of that, because we're never enough, we're going to throw some bacon on there just to be a little extra. Chicken bacon parmesan. That's a thing, y'all. Okay, don't go crazy. Save some for throwing in your face. Okay. We got the oven set on broil. We're going to throw that in there and let the cheese melt down. Keep an eye on it. Don't walk away. Don't lose track of what you're doing. A burn right now would be tragedy. So that's in the oven. While that's in the oven, we're going to go ahead and we're going to plate up the rest of everything. This is going to be bacon bits on my hand for our chicken parmesan. Look at that. You see that? Go ahead and slide that right down there. We're going to give it a nice healthy dollop of our wonderful sauce. I know it's wonderful because it's basically the only thing I've eaten all day. Don't get sloppy with it. No need to get sloppy now. Hit it over the top with some of that mozzarella cheese. Not as heavy as you would on a pizza, obviously. Okay. And then what I want to do with it is we're just going to hit it with some fresh basil leaf. Basil, whatever you call it. You don't have to do anything special with that, just kind of tear it in there. The fragrance is in the air, it smells amazing. We all know how I feel about basil, or at least you should if you've watched any of my videos. Now, the last part of a chicken parmesan is the pasta. We're going to get into our noodles here. Now, before we want to do with our noodles, we just got regular boiled off noodles. We're gonna hit it with a nice dose of red sauce. You don't want to thoroughly inundate it, but you want to color it. You want to give it a little flavor. And then just grab a nice tongful. I don't know how to say that really. Kind of twist it up. People use forks. I don't really have a fork to do this with, so tongue isn't going to work with me here. Don't go overboard. The chicken's the star here. I'm just going to lay that down right there. Looking beautiful. Get rid of that. And then we're just going to top it with a little bit more of that fresh sauce. Now that right there, fresh chicken parmigiana. Smells good, looks good, but we're not done yet. Because extra is my middle name. What'd I tell you? Perfection. Now that that's out of the oven, we're going to go ahead and plate this bad boy too. Now look at this. It's a thing of beauty. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that straight down the middle. 4-way cut. We don't really need to get any crazier than that. Super sexy. Right there. Sorry, I'm not much of a cheese pool guy, but that just looked good. Don't forget some fresh basil on the top of that. You can snip it, you could chop it. I prefer to tear it. Gives it more of an authentic feel. Plus it makes my hand smell like basil, which is always good. And then, last but not least, once more, with a tiny skosh, Parmesan on top. And then you have it, guys. Chicken Parmigiana 2 ways. Traditional, lovely pasta with it, easy to do. Non-traditional, fun, handheld, appetizer style, eat it as a meal, however you want to do it. The point is, get in the kitchen and cook. I don't care what you want to do, just do it. This is your art form, guys. That's what I always say. Eat your art. I stand by that. This is my art, and I'm gonna eat it. I want to thank you guys for joining me one more time on Cooking Ain't Complicated. We'll see you next week.